Hi guys, what's happening? So today is actually the first day that I'm using my new microphone, which is the Rode Video Mic Pro, which I got a few weeks ago. Haven't really had the chance to use it so far. Now, we did go out to the beach a few days ago, and I did bring my little Sony Handycam, which I always throw in my bag. It's good for making quick little video shoots, sort of documentary behind the scenes stuff, as you know. But the sound quality has always suffered. Now the picture quality is always adequate. It ain't brilliant, but you know, it's good. Throw it in the bag, off you go, switch it on, and that's it. But the sound quality has always suffered, and I've been struggling with that quite a lot recently. So I thought, yeah, we'll go and we'll buy a good microphone. So we're at the beach. It was a fantastic day up at the north coast, and realised that there isn't a mic input for my Handycam. So unfortunately, whenever I do use this, the sound quality will suffer. So I think moving forward for pretty much most of my location work, whenever I'm doing any video work, I'll just be sticking the Rode microphone on top of the 6D. Of course, a 6D quality, which is what you're watching now, will be a lot more superior to this anyway. And I'll probably just use this as a backup video camera, which I think is what it's really for anyway. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, guys, about if you're interested in the sound quality, what you think. Say it is the first time I've been using it, so I may need to sort of experiment and tweak it a bit more. So what this is all about is we went to the beach last week, went up the north coast, which I love the north coast in Ireland. It's fantastic. It's got so much beautiful terrain, stunning beaches, and if the weather is good, you know, it's a wonderful place to explore. So we went to Downhill Beach, where there is Mussenden Temple, which is a very popular spot for people, very popular spot for photographers. I've been there a few times before myself, but I thought I would do something different and venture down to the beach down below. So we got some good shots, got some interesting shots, and we got a few shots which I certainly wasn't expecting on getting at all, and I think they turned out quite interesting. So after this, after the video we were about to watch, we'll bounce back, we'll go into Lightroom, we'll open up a couple of shots in Lightroom, and we'll do a quick couple of edits. Also today I actually downloaded the new version, or not the new version, but the free version, which has now become available on Google, of Nik software. Now, Nik software is something which I've heard a lot about, which I've been very interested in using. However, today is the first day that I'm actually using it. It does sync up nicely to all the Adobe products such as Lightroom and Photoshop, and it opens in its own panel. If you haven't used it before, you know, you might want to think about downloading it. It is free. It has become free. I do believe that it was, you know, £200 or £300 just a matter of a year or so ago. So it is a good piece of software for your editing. So we'll have a quick look at that as well later. So we'll get right back to you after this video. Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are at Castle Rock, Downhill Beach, here in County Londonderry. We've got Mussenden Temple here in the background. It's a very interesting building. It's been here obviously for a very, very long time, just hanging on to the edge of the cliff face. I believe that originally it was built as a library many, many years ago, but it makes for a very interesting visit. Obviously a lot of photographers have taken full advantage of it and shot lots of photographs of it before in the past. Today I'm going to be doing my take on it. This is my first time actually down on the beach itself. I've been here before, but usually I've been up top, up the hillside. So I'm just going to get a couple of shots here in the background, see what we can do. As you know, I really like the clouds, and we don't have any clouds, but it is a beautiful, warm, sunny day, and we'll see what we can do. What I want to do is, here in the background, got some water, and I want to see if I can capture some of the reflection in the water
just to make it just a little bit unusual, and we'll see what we can do with it. So just going to pop off a few shots here and we'll see what happens. So this evening I've got 6D, 5Ds in the bag. It's not coming out at the minute, but I'm just using the 6D with the 200, or the 70 to 200mm lens, f1.4. Not my usual portrait style lens, or sorry, I should say not my usual landscape lens. I always use this lens for portraits, but I think it was in my bag, so I'm going to use it, see how it goes with some landscape photography. So we're just going to pop off some shots here. So once again, I'm going to be concentrating more on the reflection to see if I can just capture something a little bit different. So we'll see what we can do. My feet are already soaking wet. Alright, let me see here. So I've got a pretty high speed shutter, 400th of a second, shooting at f9, just to capture all the detail in the landscape as well. And very, very low ISO 100. So some shots and we'll see what we can do with this. Over here. That was quite good actually. Obviously our horse is going to come back. I throw it? That was a terrible throw. Okay, let's go. Okay guys, so here we are back in Lightroom. So I've selected a couple of my favorite shots from the day and we're going to get stuck straight into this and do some very quick editing here. So first selection is this one, which I like quite a lot. Let's just quickly see what we can do with this. So to be honest, this is straight from the camera. There's not too much that I actually want to do with this, except I'm going to sharpen it a bit. My standard sharpening is 70 or close to it. Always add a little bit of masking. Usually about 20 is fine, and I'm just quite comfortable with that setting for my sharpening. Except, you know how much I love clarity in my photographs. I'm just going to quickly add a little bit of clarity. We'll bump it right up and we'll
bring it down again. You know, my preference with clarity, it just makes things a lot more crisper. And I just love it. It's my favorite slider. Even more so than contrast. In fact, what I sometimes do is I would drop down the contrast slightly and then just bring up the clarity just to balance it out. And it just seems to add that extra dimension. So something like that is fine. Blacks, we'll bring some blacks into it a little bit. I'm just looking at the histogram up here, making sure that there's no clipping. Looks fine. Shadows, I don't need to touch. Highlights, we might actually bring some highlights into it, which will obviously bring in a little bit more contrast. Maybe bring the exposure up slightly. Too much. About there. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. That's fine, so we'll move quickly on to this other shot which I really like. Now, it was a bit underexposed. As we can see, I've already bumped it up by over a stop here. In fact, I'm going to increase it a little bit more. So we're going to just bring the exposure right up. We've got a lot of shadows going on with the horse, so we'll want to bring that up. About there looks good. I'm going to bring the shadow level up a little bit. And we're going to bring a little bit of black into it. And next will be the sharpening. Really quickly just add my standard sharpening of 70 and a little bit of masking to that. So something like that looks fine for now. What I want to do is I want to bring the clarity slider right up here. We've got a lot of nice detail going on with the horse and the dog. Now, I know because I have examined this image that the dog unfortunately is not as sharp as I would have liked. Shutter speed was not as fast as I should have had. It's only 400th of a second, and I know that there's a little bit of movement going on, especially with the dog, as we can see there. So the dog was running around. It was just a nice moment in time when I had not only the dog but the horse and the rider glancing at me. It was really nice, and I just really like this shot. I think it's very cool. I was speaking to the rider, the owner of the horse, afterwards, lovely lady, and I did give her my details. I did say if I get any good shots for her to get in touch with me, I'd be happy to send her an image via email. That was a good week or so ago, and I haven't yet heard from her, so hopefully she will reach out to me, because I do want her to get this shot. So anyhow, moving quickly on. Here it looks okay, but I have realized that by switching this to black and white really makes it, and I really do love the black and white in this image. I'm going to bring the clarity slider right up with this, and maybe also more shadows. Now you can see obviously where the sun was setting at the time. It did create a lot of shadows, which is nice for the contrast, but we do lose a lot of detail, especially with the horse, and I just want to bring some of that detail back. Clarity seems really high for this sort of image, but you know, it kind of works. At least I think it works, and I like it. Now this was shot, it does have a bit of a Dutch angle, which I'm not a huge fan of. It wasn't actually intentional, it was more spur of the moment just to get that shot in. And I know that if I was to rotate this image, I would end up losing some of the dog, which I don't want to do. So we're not going to bother rotating it. We'll keep the angle as it is. And it'll be fine. Now, as I said earlier on today, I downloaded the new version, or sorry, once again, the free version of Nik software. So we're going to quickly have a look at this in Silver Effects Pro. So we right click on the thumbnail or on the image, and we go to Editing, and we can see our Nik software is being installed. Now, if I select Silver Effects Pro, we're going to make this pretty quick. There is one thing in this which I really like. Now, whenever you do, if you haven't used this before, it's one thing I've noticed. One thing which I was actually a little bit niggled about was that it opens it in a TIFF file, so you're not actually editing the original RAW file. It resaves it as a TIFF. Now, on my computer, this does take a minute, unfortunately. It would be good if you were editing directly the RAW file, but it wants to transform it into a TIFF and then take it from there. Okay, and now that this is loaded, here we are in Silver Effects Pro 2. On the left hand side of the screen, we can see we've got a lot of presets. Some of them I don't really like at all. I'm not really a big advocate of using presets in Lightroom. Some of these here look really, really strong, especially the ultra high contrast ones look almost like posterized to me. But there is one thing which I am interested in just at first glance, and that is high structure. And we've got high structure harsh and high structure smooth, and I do quite like what that does. It's very similar to the properties of clarity in Lightroom. So I'm just going to quickly select that. As you can see immediately, it just gives you that bit more of a punch and does add that bit more definition to the image, which I really love. I don't even think I want to do too much more to that. Maybe just raise the structure up a little bit more. It really does bring out all those nice mid-tones, makes it really sharp. Maybe add a little bit of contrast. Not too much, because I don't want to lose too much of the information here in the shadows. I'm quite happy with that. I like that image. Okay folks, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. We're almost at 100 subscribers, so it's my first milestone. So thanks a lot. Hope you enjoy the videos. There's a lot more to come. I want to do more work around weddings. It can be just a bit hard to coordinate on the day of a wedding, obviously, because there's just so much happening. But it would be nice to do a quick little video behind the scenes at one of my weddings. So yeah, we'll be doing a lot more fun stuff. We'll be doing a lot more stuff on location. I plan to be going to County Kerry very soon for a few days, which is a gorgeous part down the south of Ireland. Lots of stunning scenery down there. I've never been down there before, so it could be good. If the weather's kind, it could be amazing. So hopefully we'll get some great videos for that. So that's it for now, folks. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon.